Remember when we had to wait each week for the next thrilling episode or hilarious pranks from our favorite characters before binge watching was even a thing? But while some shows have stood the test of time, others have faded into the background, almost forgotten in the sea of endless streaming options. Today, we're diving into those classic TV gems from the 70s that deserve a second chance, a full-blown comeback to remind us why they captured our hearts in the first place. 1. Quantum Leap. Quantum Leap aired from 1989 to 1993 and followed Dr. Sam Beckett, a physicist who becomes unstuck in time, leaping into the bodies of different people to fix mistakes in history. With the help of Al, his holographic friend, Sam tried to make things right while figuring out how to get back home. Time travel is huge right now, from Loki to Dark, and Sam's story could resonate even more today. Imagine a modern quantum leap tackling current events. Sam could leap into someone's Twitter account and save us all from cringe-worthy posts. 2. The Greatest American Hero. This superhero comedy aired from 1981 to 1983, focusing on Ralph Hinckley, a teacher who found an alien suit that gave him superpowers, with no instructions. The poor guy couldn't even figure out how to land when he flew, turning superheroics into slapstick comedy gold. In today's world of perfectly polished superheroes, we need Ralph's relatable struggles. Watching a guy fail at flying while dealing with Zoom meetings? That's the hero we didn't know we needed. With that suit, Ralph was the only guy who could go from saving the world to crash landing into someone's lawn in 10 seconds flat. 3. Night Court. Night Court aired from 1984 to 1992, serving up legal comedy with a bizarre lineup of cases in a New York night court. Judge Harry Stone led the charge with his quirky, magic-loving personality, while his court was filled with eccentric characters like Bull, the towering bailiff, and Christine, the uptight public defender. Courtroom dramas dominate the scene, but where's the fun? A reboot of Night Court could turn modern legal issues, TikTok copyright cases, viral video disputes, into comedy gold. Plus, who wouldn't want to see Judge Harry working a case through Zoom? In Night Court, justice isn't blind. It's just got a weird sense of humor and really likes magic tricks. 4. Parker Lewis Can't Lose. This teenage sitcom ran from 1990 to 1993, following Parker Lewis, a high schooler who always had a trick up his sleeve and an unshakable confidence, much like Ferris Bueller. With quick visual gags and over-the-top schemes, Parker always outwitted everyone. Imagine Parker Lewis in today's world of viral trends and social media influencers. He'd thrive. But could even Parker outwit an algorithm? That might be his biggest challenge yet. Parker Lewis can't lose, but could he survive the horrors of a group text gone wrong? 5. Moonlighting. Moonlighting, which aired from 1985 to 1989, was part detective show, part romantic comedy, starring Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd as private detectives with undeniable chemistry. Their witty banter and the show's unique mix of breaking the fourth wall made it stand out in a sea of serious procedurals. With today's endless detective shows, Moonlighting could bring back the fun and chemistry that modern TV often misses. Picture Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd handling cases involving catfishing and deepfakes. Sure, Bruce was solving crimes, but the real mystery was how his hairline stayed in place all those seasons. 6. The Incredible Hulk, running from 1978 to 1982. The Incredible Hulk starred Bill Bixby as David Banner, a scientist with an anger problem. When things got intense, he'd Hulk out and become the green giant we all know. It was part action, part tragic drama, with Banner always on the run, trying to find a cure. With modern CGI, a Hulk reboot could really push boundaries, but more importantly, it would be great to bring back the grounded, emotional storytelling of Banner's character. After all, who can't relate to wanting to Hulk out after a long Zoom call? Dad joke. Banner was always trying to control his anger. Clearly, he never had to deal with slow Wi-Fi during a Netflix binge. 7. Columbo. Airing from 1968 to 2003, on and off, Columbo was a detective show with a twist. You knew who committed the crime from the start. The joy came from watching the seemingly bumbling Lieutenant Columbo, played by Peter Falk, solve the case in his unassuming but brilliant way. Columbo was a masterclass in character-driven storytelling, and today's true crime fans would eat it up. Plus, seeing Columbo take down billionaires and influencers would be satisfying on a whole new level. Just one more thing. Columbo could probably solve the mystery of why you can never find your car keys. 8. The A-Team. Running from 1983 to 1987, the A-Team followed a group of ex-Special Forces soldiers turned mercenaries, solving problems while avoiding the military. Led by Hannibal, with Mr. T as the unforgettable B.A. Baracus, the show was full of wild action, makeshift gadgets, and plans that came together. The action genre could use the fun, over-the-top antics that the A-Team perfected. A modern version could tackle current issues while keeping that DIY flair alive. But please, no CGI explosions. Bring back the classic, chaotic car flips. If today's A-Team got into trouble, at least they could just ask Siri for directions. 9. The $6 Million Man. Airing from 1973 to 1978, The $6 Million Man starred Lee Majors as Steve Austin, an astronaut who is rebuilt with bionic parts after a near-fatal accident. Faster, stronger, and full of slow-motion running, Steve fought crime and saved the world one slow step at a time. With today's advancements in tech, a reboot could really dig into what it means to enhance humanity. Plus, $6 million doesn't go as far as it used to. Imagine the budget cuts Steve would have to deal with today. The $6 Million Man? Nowadays, that'd barely cover a new iPhone. 10. Airwolf, 1984 to 1987, was a show about a high-tech helicopter and the secret missions it flew to fight crime and protect national security. Stringfellow Hawk, played by Jan Michael Vincent, was the pilot, flying missions that felt straight out of a video game. With drones and advanced aircraft in the news constantly, Airwolf could make a huge splash today. Just imagine the aerial dogfights and futuristic tech without the 1980s shaky special effects. Sure, the missions were cool, but it was the pilot's hair that truly defied the laws of physics. 11. Mork and Mindy. Airing from 1978 to 1982, Mork and Mindy introduced the world to Robin Williams as Mork, an alien sent to Earth to study human behavior, living with Mindy, a down-to-earth woman in Boulder, Colorado. Mork's quirky antics, combined with Williams' signature improvisational comedy, made this show an instant classic. With today's obsession with aliens, hello, UFO hearings, a reboot could explore the human condition in even funnier, more relevant ways. Imagine Mork trying to understand TikTok trends, pure comedic gold. Nanu. Translation: Mork was the original Zoom call crasher, back when Wi-Fi didn't exist. 12. Chips, 1977-1983. Chips followed two California Highway Patrol motorcycle officers, Punch and John, as they patrolled the freeways of Los Angeles. The show was full of car chases, sunny LA vibes, and 70s charm, all with a surprisingly upbeat tone for a cop show. In a world of gritty police dramas, we could all use a little Chips to lighten things up. A modern version could still have action, but bring back that classic, feel-good energy. If Chips taught us anything, it's that traffic tickets look a lot cooler when you get them from someone on a motorcycle. 13. Fantasy Island. Running from 1977 to 1984, Fantasy Island was a mysterious show where people paid to visit a magical island where their wildest dreams would come true. But there was always a twist. Mr. Rourke and his sidekick Tattoo ran the island and guided the guests through their fantastical experiences. We live in a world obsessed with escape and fantasy, cue the metaverse, and a modern fantasy island could explore the darker side of getting everything you want. Plus, the mysterious Mr. Rourke is due for a cryptic, slightly sinister update. Welcome to Fantasy Island, where the Wi-Fi is always perfect, until you try to post a selfie. 14. The Love Boat. Airing from 1977 to 1986, The Love Boat was a lighthearted show about the passengers and crew aboard a cruise ship. Each episode featured new guests, often played by familiar faces, and followed their romantic, humorous, or heartwarming adventures on the high seas. With travel shows and reality TV so popular now, The Love Boat could blend both worlds with a modern twist. A streaming show with different celebrities in each episode would definitely keep things fresh. On The Love Boat, love was always in the air, but seasickness probably was too. 15. BJ and the Bear. This 1979-1981 show followed BJ McKay, a trucker who traveled the country with his pet chimpanzee, Bear. Together, they delivered goods and got into all sorts of mischief on the open road, combining adventure with a unique buddy dynamic. Truckers deserve their moment in the spotlight. Plus, who doesn't want to see a TV show where the sidekick is a monkey? With today's special effects and storytelling, BJ and Bear's cross-country adventures would be even wilder. BJ and the Bear taught us that a trucker's best co-pilot is a chimpanzee, though I'd still recommend GPS. 16. The Fall Guy, running from 1981 to 1986. The Fall Guy followed Colt Seavers, a stuntman who moonlighted as a bounty hunter, using his Hollywood stunt skills to catch criminals. Whether it was jumping cars or leaping off buildings, Colt knew how to handle himself, and his truck was always there for an epic chase. Hollywood stuntmen are still around, and with today's action sequences, a reboot of The Fall Guy could take Colt's daring feats to a whole new level. Plus, throw in some behind-the-scenes filmmaking action for a meta twist. Colt could jump from a speeding car and land perfectly, but he probably still tripped over his own shoelaces at home. 17. Heart to Heart, airing from 1979 to 1984. Heart to Heart followed the glamorous couple Jonathan and Jennifer Hart, a self-made millionaire and his journalist wife, who moonlighted as amateur detectives. They solved crimes while attending glitzy parties and traveling the world. Who doesn't love a stylish, mystery-solving duo? A reboot could bring back the glitz and glamour while diving into today's high society mysteries. Think Instagram scandals and influencer drama. Jonathan and Jennifer Hart had one thing in common with Sherlock Holmes. They both never let a good mystery ruin their weekend plans. 18. SWAT, 1975 to 1976. SWAT was a gritty police drama following a specialized unit of law enforcement officers who tackled the toughest crimes. Though it only ran for 2 seasons, it left a lasting impression with its intense action and iconic theme song. With SWAT teams frequently in the spotlight, a modern take could explore the balance between action and accountability, while still delivering the hard-hitting excitement that fans loved. If the SWAT theme song played every time I tried to take out the trash, I'd feel a lot cooler about doing chores. 19. Barney Miller, running from 1975 to 1982. Barney Miller was a cop sitcom set in a New York precinct. It focused more on the humorous side of police work, with quirky characters and everyday problems. Unlike most police dramas, it embraced the mundane and the ridiculous. In an era of intense, action-packed cop shows, a reboot of Barney Miller could bring some much-needed levity. We could all use a few laughs about the more human side of law enforcement, right? In Barney Miller, the only crime worse than breaking the law was breaking the coffee machine. 20. The Dukes of Hazzard. From 1979 to 1985, the Dukes of Hazzard followed the Duke brothers, Bo and Luke, as they outwitted corrupt local authorities in their iconic car, the General Lee. With wild stunts, car chases, and Southern charm, the show was a mix of adventure and humor. In a time when car culture and nostalgia are at an all-time high, a modern Dukes of Hazzard could bring back those thrilling chase scenes with today's technology. Plus, we all secretly want to see what General Lee could do with a Tesla engine. The Duke boys might have outrun the law, but there's no outrunning your car's Bluetooth connection when it randomly starts playing embarrassing songs. These forgotten TV gems from the 70s have timeless appeal and the potential to connect with today's audiences in new and exciting ways. Whether you're craving quirky detective work or epic car chases, these classics deserve a reboot. Which show do you think should make a grand comeback? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And let us know what you want to see next.